All right, dudes. What's up? What's up? What's up? All right. So, people wanted to go over what I did today as a strategy to make some money. Oops. Let's take this off. All right. So, first off, this is what I was looking at for SPY this morning, which is just the market in general. For our chart, these are kind of like zones there that I had already. So, pretty much, as you see, I'm usually watching the 1 hour for the day. This is exactly what I was watching this morning. I don't know why it's not up anymore, but I'll draw it again. So what I was watching ideally this morning was this trend line here that we were making. Actually, I had it a little tighter. I think I had it right off those wicks. It broke through a few times there, as you see. That's what I had. Yeah. Yep. Today's Tuesday. So I had this up. And really, I was watching this, and it broke a few times. It never closed it. It never closed it in the hourly. So that's why I kept buying SPY. If it closed and tested this trend line above and tested it, I would have shorted it, but it never did. So it never closed there. And like I said, this is on the hourly that I'm watching. So that was kind of my SPY play. Ideally, was that as well as it being in a higher low formation here. As you see, it's kind of keeping this support. This is almost like its own zone itself. Oops. So if you look at even though because there's a lot of buyers and sellers here, and it never really closed below that. So that's why it stopped right there. It's because it never really closed that area on this candle here. Oh, I can hear someone else on here. Anyways, so that's exactly what my play was. Let's see here. So at the end of the day, we shot up. I'm still in SPY calls. Came up to this level here, which was an old level of support or resistance because of back here, many orders that came here. Then when I broke above it, came down, retested it, kind of showed its significance there. So I just kept that there. So that's kind of why I hit there, but I kept it because of the momentum. This candle here, it's like you short on this candle here, you're pretty much shooting yourself in the foot, unless you're scalping. But I don't really like to scalp ever. There's not really a lot of, I mean, you can make money doing it, but it's like, man, the stress is high and the risk to reward's just, I mean, man, it's not really worth it. I'd really play bigger moves, like 15 minutes, usually my time frame to go to on the market. And as you just kind of touched, but it still never closed below this trend line. So I see us being, I mean, we'll have to see what does the futures. Usually the futures overnight kind of go up. Oh, this is SPY. That's why. So that's why usually I look at ES. So I didn't even realize that. Oh, well, that works anyways. It's the same exact example. I gotta change these around. Oh, cool. So these are my zones. I'm a little wider here. I don't really like how wide these are. But kind of experimenting with my zones right now. It's bouncing off this level here, which is an old resistance, now new support. So that's pretty much how I trade. Support resistance. It's really not too difficult, and I do use zones just to be in awareness of once it breaks it, where we're going. For example, like this one here today. I added calls at AMD once we got out of this zone and we stayed above it. This is where I added them. Then we shot the heck up all the way up to here. I didn't even see this, to be honest with you. So I'm selling these as of right now, but we'll see. I think these guys shot up because of all the other earnings that were good, like Snap, which Snap I was in calls from yesterday, and the reason being is because we've been in this holding this area. So I ended up buying calls here for August. I always buy them way too far out because I rather spend more money and have less of that theta, I believe is what it is, time decay. So I buy usually like 3 weeks out or at least 2 weeks out. Unless I'm strictly day trading it, then I'll buy the weekly. But that's literally if I'm strictly day trading it. And I don't ever plan on just really, unless it's a super volatile stock like TWLO or something that gaps all over the place. Otherwise, I'm going to buy a further out call because I don't plan on swing trading things. I plan on just trading things to a level. And like, for example, if Snap went up here, if Snap really closed it here, I probably would have closed it. But it was just in this zone here, and I was like, oh, I'm going to close it here. It's in an area of resistance. It did break this, so you got a little triangle breakout here, as you can see. So I sold my calls and then bought 50 shares, or no, 35 shares, because earnings is literally a coin toss. Like anyone that says they know what it's going to do, like either has inside information or is literally just like looking at past traits of the stock. So that's pretty much what I say for earnings. If you're playing earnings off of income, you're pretty much gambling, which I mean is cool, but I'd rather go to a casino because they got cool ass lights. It's my 2 cents there. So that's
hey, Tyler, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can actually. Yeah,
Hey,
I was wondering who was making that noise. What's up,
hey,
dude?
man. I didn't realize my mic was on. I was just sitting there. So are you trading like zone to zone? Is that what you're trying to do?
Ideally, yes, I am. But I'm also, I'll show you another thing I'm doing today. For example, today on BYND, I'll show you exactly what I was looking at there. Oh, what the heck? Get rid of this thing. I don't know what that is. Stupid thing. Of course, my computer. What's that play button do? I don't even know. Anyways, so if you look here on BYND, so this is cool. So I'm actually looking at a smaller time frame for things like this. This is strictly was kind of a day trade. This was literally a day trade. And what I looked at here was how we gapped up this morning. Okay, so that automatically means that if we gapped up, that means it moved overnight and I had no control over that. This is where we closed last night. So when we closed last night, we closed, let's say, I guess you'd go on the 1 minute. If you went on the daily, it'd show up too. Where exactly closed? No price level there. So this is exactly another strategy I use, and we
Can you
right
show the pivot
there.
Points too while you're?
Yes, yeah, sure.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, no worries. But this is so I kind of traded multiple, I guess, of strategies. I'm not really sure. But it works. So I'll just do it. So this is like a gap and go. So what I was looking at down here was where we gapped up. So down here was exactly where I was looking for the break. And I called it out this morning, 194.26 breaks, because that's where we closed last night. There was going to be a reaction here. And there was a reaction here, right here. So I was waiting for that to break because that's where we closed. And the best thing to do that, I kind of entered in a little early, but once we got to here, this is where I was really heavily playing it, and this is where I called it out too. Because as you see, we tested it here again, but then we broke below it, and that's where I entered right here when we entered it. It came up, and I didn't really like that, but as soon as we saw this, we see lower highs here. So I held it. My stop loss, I don't have one. Mental stop loss was right here, though. It was right above this area. Really, I wouldn't have risked anything more than 196. I don't know, 196.50 was my mental stop loss. So if we hit there, bounced off here, kept going, I was out. But I did hold through this, which is kind of, I guess, nerve-wracking, but kind of annoying because it was usually, this moves a lot faster and it was slow as crap. So pretty much this was like a gap and go, and gap and crap is what they call, I think. So once it finally did break below this, on traditional stocks, what it would do is it would retest the gap area. There would be a reaction, and then it would break down, and it would just tank, kind of like what it did here. So it eventually did it, and this is where I made my $200 because I sold most of my puts, but then it came back up, which is just kind of annoying because it's just going sideways. It's not moving. So I bought August 16th puts for that. Hopefully it tanks tomorrow. So that's something I looked at BYND as well as Amazon today. Oh, I thought Amazon. Amazon closed here last night. So as soon as we tested it in the morning, bounced off, broke below it, tested it from the bottom side. This is where I entered puts. And I did sell some here, but I entered in again up here because it tested it again. It never broke above this 190 area. If it broke above the 190, you're going long, which did at the end of the day. So that is another gap and go kind of strategy that I used for those 2 day trades. And that's the only time I will ever use the 1 minute. And I really don't use the 1 minute besides that. So those are just 2 ones I made today. But on the, you were talking about the pivot points, right? So really on pivot points, I use that mainly for Forex and stuff, but it definitely does work during the day, this loads. They're just pretty much reset every day from the high and the low if that loads. It's pretty much just resetting itself from the high or low. So So it takes the high, yesterday's high and yesterday's low, and averages out into the middle. So the pivot point would be right here, this yellow line. So that is the main pivot point. These are all like S1, R1. These are all resistances for the day. And as you see, it does respect them to a level. Like these grayish ones are kind of like minor supports. And these are all just, an indicator, so I don't solely base them off. But my thing is, if it's above the pivot point, it is a buy. That's just how I see it. It's above the pivot point, it's bullish. So my exact thought process for SPY is exactly this. So, okay, we're above the 200 EMA. We're trending up. We're doing good. 4 hour, trending up, doing good. 1 hour, we are still right there on that level. We are right here to be aware of. We're still on an uptrend, but it's slowing down. But we're above the pivot level, so that's good. 30 minutes, still above it. 15 minutes, still above it. So this is a buy on all time frames. And it's above the pivot level. I would not short this. There's no way I would short this stock. No way. And it's the S&P 500. And with that trend line that I drew earlier. So absolutely no doubt. If it broke the pivot level, I'd wait for a retest of the pivot and then down. So that's just exactly my thought process of why I was buying. There is no doubt in my mind why I was going up. And if it broke, I can be wrong. I just have to make sure my winners are bigger than my losers. If you're 50% right, or even 30% right, but your winners outweigh your losses by 3 to 1, you're going to win. So it doesn't matter. So that's exactly what the pivot levels mean to me.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah, sure.
The main pivots are yellow.
Yeah.
So at what point do you decide that it's reversing based off those pivots?
Honestly, usually I can go off the price action. I can usually tell pretty good. For example, like if we go to, let's see here. I'll have to load this up. The Forex, this is what I use Forex for, because this thing's taken. Oh, maybe it will work here. Euro. So Euro USD is a perfect. Oh, there we go. So USD is a perfect example of that breaking. So I was shorting this all last night because it was not holding support at all, and this was the pivot today. And I held my short instead of taking it away because of the momentum it was having and the strength of the U.S. dollar. So that's just a Forex example of that. But Forex and a normal stock are the same thing. Once it breaks the pivot, depending if it's actually trending and not just chopping around, as you saw yesterday. Yesterday was a terrible day to trade. It was so lame. It literally just was like garbage. It traded up, which was good, but it just kind of moved sideways from where it was yesterday. Maybe it's here. I don't remember, but it wasn't very fun. It wasn't very much movement. So I don't know if that helped you answer the question, but it really just depends on the price action and the momentum of the stock. I think Tesla loads. I think Tesla might have been at a pivot level. So it's more of a guide than anything, but I usually do base my trades off it. So for example, tonight, this is the exact trade I'll take tonight off Euro USD. Let's see here. I'm still short. I'm down right now, but when the pivots reset tonight, I think they reset at like 5 o'clock, which we saw on not Robinhood, whatever that platform is, TOS. It reset already, and it reset up to here, which is almost a zone for me already. So what my exact play for tonight on Euro USD will be to wait for here, and my stop will be above there, be like right above it, but it's going to come back, and you can even play the buy here. It's just risk reward isn't. It's pretty overextended down. It's going to pull back. It's going to come up to this pivot, and you're going to receive a rejection. And if it doesn't, you're going to see a reaction no matter. Pretty comfortably saying it's going to see a reaction here. Because other people use the strategy too, is my guess. I don't know. It just always works. Not always, but a majority of the time it will. So you're going to see a pullback onto here, and then hopefully it continues down. And that's what I'll be playing. That's how I play these pivots, pretty much. So
you play the zone and the pivot together?
Yeah. And then, like I said, and then if I'm day trading something like you saw earlier, the gap and go stuff, I do that, but it's not as often. It's only like if I have a morning where I wake up on time because I work late. If I wake up and I'm like looking at stocks, I'm only trading kind of stocks that move, like Amazon, BYD. We both, that thing's a freaking son of a gun, but I will trade that. I do check it every day. Roku. I actually was going to trade Roku today. But that strategy isn't something I do every single day. I more stick to zones and pivot points. And if I don't have pivot points, I'll just do zones. See, Roku just tanked, gapped up, and then once it filled this gap here, it just tanked. I guess that would be a better
looking
example.
at that, where would you decide that it's good to get in? What would you be looking for?
All right, so this is another example when I would use the 1 minute. So let's see here, close right here. And look at that, look at the back of my head here. Boom, gap fill. So there's the gap fill, tank up, come back, retesting down to here. There's the same exact spot. Sell off, back up, retest. That's, once I saw this red candle, that's a short. Short. Even with this pivot here, still a short. And my stop would be right above that. And I could be stopped out, but that's exactly the position I would have took if I was actually looking at this stock this morning. So that would have been exactly why. So that's a mix between things, I guess. It also is in a zone too. And once you broke this zone, it came up and retested the top of it and then sold right off. I wouldn't even pay attention to the pivots at that point. So because my zone's lined up with it already pretty much. And I didn't even play this today, so I didn't touch this chart. But yeah, it actually looked pretty good.
So by looking at that, you're going to be going to previous day's close. You're going to draw that line across.
Yep.
And then when it breaks the previous day's close and then retest it, that's when you would get in.
Yeah. Yeah. So I guess I'm using 3 different things, but this is like the day trading strategy right here that I use today. If I wake up early enough to see it, otherwise I'll miss it. Otherwise, I'm strictly using zones and I'm using pivots as a reference for confluence, like a Fibonacci almost. It gives more weight. So yeah, that's why Roku was a short today. And then at the end of the day, I tried shorting it after all this stuff, and that worked out. But then down to here, you could see it just kept rejecting it. And then I was, I'm done. This thing it's ready to be oversold as it is. And Roku can do whatever the heck it wants sometimes. So I was like, I'm out. For tomorrow, what my guess is we'll see where it opens, and we'll go from there because it closed right. So I'll make that level right here. That's where it closed today. The 105, that's ironic. It closed right at 105. Weird. And we'll see where that goes. If it breaks above this zone, I'll wait, and then it'll retest it, and then it'll skyrocket up. And that'll be my buy. But otherwise, if it breaks below this zone and then retests where it was, I'll probably sell it. And depending on where the pivot points are, that'll also influence my decisions based off the bigger picture of Roku, as it is uptrending. But it broke this support here, and that was pretty major. As you see, it's like a triangle down, whatever the heck that's called.
That's that's an ascending wedge.
Is it? I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know what they're called, but
if you look back on the far left where the red line goes, there's that little tiny peak above it.
Yeah.
If you touch from there and draw a line all the way to the high, that looks like that. Yeah, it might be a little high. But if you drew a trend line from there all the way to the high, from right there to here. On back, keep going.
Okay, so
will that other one tie in?
I don't know. This is what I saw here. This is literally maybe. I was looking at just pretty much this right here, and then we broke above it, but then we broke below it, and then I saw these lows, and once we broke that low, it was pretty much over.
Yeah, so I was going the other way, going from the far left up, and then if you take the bottom one, and if you have an ascending wedge, it's going to break.
Okay.
So really, if you look back, the high is not even there yet.
Okay.
So it's going to go up according, and I'm just looking at that, without lines on it. But if you look at if you drew a trend line across the top of all those, like starting back where it says Wilders, on the bottom. Keep going
Oh,
left.
right here.
About
Oh, my bad.
524.
Yeah, my bad.
524.
Okay, right here.
Keep going.
One over, right here.
Yeah, just to the left, the big tall one.
Oh, the top right here. It's so difficult doing this. Or is there one of these?
Well,
Oh.
if you go left of where you are now,
Boom, boom, boom.
you're on 4 o'clock. So right there.
Right
if
here.
you
Okay.
if you touch the very top,
Okay.
the top peak,
Yep.
a little bit
Oh,
right.
of this right here.
No, go
Okay.
up. Right, stop right there and go right. All right, now, well, your screen as we're talking, your screen is not delayed. If you grab the high
Okay.
with what you have now,
I see what you're seeing. Is my screen delayed?
so
Okay.
if you had a top trend line going on across the top, and then you had the bottom right in the middle of the screen from there to your pivot, then if you look at it, it's going to form a wedge, and an ascending wedge is going to be bearish.
Okay. Oh, I see.
Just like
Okay.
I had drawn on SPY. SPY had an ascending wedge and it dropped out and then it took off, and that's what the ascending wedge does. It's a bearish move that turns into a bullish move.
See if it's
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. I honestly, I'll be straight up honest. I honestly don't play patterns often. I should be more aware of them.
I'm learning more about them because they play out.
Do they?
Yeah,
I probably should pay attention.
If you go into our chat where I've created a new channel called Patterns.
Yeah,
and I posted a couple in there. There's one with Baba, and it looks like a teacup, or well, I guess a cup and handle. It's on the right there.
Project.
Here's the wedge you're talking about right there.
Yeah.
With the SPY. Yeah. Yeah, no, it definitely does. I just
And see, Baba's actually playing that out right now. It's above that zone now.
yeah. It's a tough one for me to get a hold of, mainly because of its gaps. I just can't. I don't know why. It just bugs me. It's a great company. It's a great stock, but I don't know if I could trade it. I don't know why. It's difficult for me for some reason.
I'm
Probably
making
'cause I
money
never
on it,
trade
so
it.
I'm going to do it.
Yeah, no, definitely do it if you can do that for sure. It's a great company too. The best thing about that is if you ever wanted to just, not saying you should do this, but if you ever bag held, it's a great company.
You ever what?
If you're going to bag hold something, you might as well do it with good companies. You know what I mean? But you're buying options, so you're not bag holding no matter what.
No.
But I'm just saying, at least you're trading a soluble, reputable company. You don't have to worry as much about. I wouldn't say that. I was going to say news, but it's got the volume.
News hits all of them. But see,
Yeah.
when you look at that, now my zone is different than yours.
Oh man, I hit mine perfect. Son of a nutcracker. Look at that.
It's above my zone right now.
Oh, it's in mine. I don't know.
And it should be above it and taken off.
I have no idea what this is.
So anyway, I'll send it to you and you can look at it.
Yes, for sure. I know you were showing me the zones you were doing, and I watched that video, and it totally makes sense.
I don't agree with
Don.
him saying that it doesn't go through a rally or a drop. I disagree with that.
Gotcha.
But for the most part, what he's saying, it works.
Cool. Sweet. Yeah, no, I definitely agree. And like you said, I watched those videos, and they're definitely helpful on zones and everything like that. So I still got to fix some of mine. This might be an older one. It happened to play out perfectly, at least down here. So that's cool.
Yeah.
I don't trade this one as often, so I did these a while ago. And someone's trying to talk. Someone trying to say something.
I don't know who it is.
Who's that? Who's the robot on here? I don't know.
It might be the Danielle.
Cool.
His is not muted.
Oh, okay. I can hear you perfectly. So did you have any other? Honestly, the zones thing. That's something I've done it this way, kind of like, Don does it too, and it works for me, but I totally understand your way as well, and that makes sense as well. So,
everybody draws them different.
Yeah, I guess
there's no exact science.
No, just be like they said in the video. Just be consistent with your zones, and if they work, then don't fix what's not broken. I guess.
Yeah.
No one's right or wrong, but I see more weight in the way you draw your zones because that's the way that I've been also told beforehand as well. And a little strategy for it, dude. You can take a browse at this tonight if you're looking. Here's a cool strategy my guy told me about. So if you look at a 4-hour chart and you find a super bearish candlestick, let's find one here. Often these play out. So you see this is pretty bearish. It's engulfing. What's a cool strategy is you can take the bottom of this wick, drag it across, and this doesn't work all the time, but it seems to work quite a bit. And every time it comes above this, why the heck is that there? I don't know. Every time it comes above here and gets above and enters back in, you short to the end of this the zone, which is, I guess, exactly a support and resistance or a zone that would carry weight.
Right.
That was something he told me about. And so you see how it came down here and it entered here, came all the way down, and then came back up, and then it came again. Once it entered here, you could short it again. These are scalps, but this is a little scalping strategy that if you look back, it actually does work. Do I use it often? No. But it's kind of cool to see when these do play out. Like down here, you could have just scalped it every time it entered and profit halfway through.
I would have never scalped there.
Me neither. But it worked. It even worked over here. Once it came out of the zone and came back down, you could have look at it worked there, it worked there, it worked there. It entered here, but it didn't break above. So this one broke the top. You could have shorted again. But it's just another little trick that is use it or not. Just something I wanted to show you that's kind of interesting. If you ever find it is. So it's just another thing I had. That's really about it.
Well, I learned some stuff. I like it.
Yeah, cool, man. Yeah, if you have any questions, you guys let's check out this one here. Yeah, so that's another example of a bearish candlestick that every time it came back in, that's such a scalp. Ugh, I would never do that. That's such a waste of time. But it works. But yeah, cool, man. I'm glad you enjoyed it. And like I said, looking forward to training with you guys tomorrow. Today was kind of a interesting day, mainly because Amazon didn't work out as much as I wanted to. But it's also long on the markets. So I kind of was, burning the candle at both ends. So that was my mistake. That was a mistake I made today. Being super bullish on SPY and Amazon didn't really make sense.
Well, right now I've got buying puts that I'm carrying over, and I knew that when I bought them that it was going to take several days to get through, and I'm fine with that. I can wait.
Yeah, me too.
And looking at the past, like right now, if I look at my 1 hour, I wish I could share my screen with you, but
yeah, I know.
If I look at my 1 hour, the way my candles are set up, when it starts selling off, they turn red. And by right now on the 1 hour, the last 2 hour candles are actually turning red.
So warning symbols, right? That's what you use?
Yeah, it's the DMI oscillator. If you put in the like David, Mary, oscillator, it sets your candles up in a different way to look at where, and then look for the oscillator. Yeah. And it will change it changes your, well, it does on mine.
Yeah, it usually does change. Yours. Yeah, it should change. I don't know why it's not. On the 1 hour, it's still green, still in an uptrend according to this.
You must have some other setting that's overriding it. But the DMI oscillator is what actually changes the colors on mine. Yeah. Or maybe go back into that.
30-minute.
Go into your study.
Okay.
There it is. It changed.
Yeah, and the 30-minute it did. On the hour, it's still bullish. It's at
okay. 15, go back. 15. Go back into your study and edit the DMI oscillator.
Okay.
And I'll show you something.
Okay.
Just edit studies.
Yeah.
And then go the collar on the bottom. Change that one to is it there? No, that's not it.
Maybe
look on mine.
It's interesting.
No, I think I have his paint bar correct. I think he just used a different color than us. He used blue and red instead of green.
Okay, go to the hist. Go back to it and then click on the I guess that's histogram on the DMI. There you go. No, that's not it.
Yeah, it looks good
See,
there.
on mine, the 1 hour it shows
Red.
the last 3 are red, which is the one that it's in right now, and then 1 after hours, and then the last one in the market open. So with mine, where it's showing the last 3 red, that tells me that it's going to drop.
Yeah, that's weird. Mine's on. Oh well.
But the last 2 times that bind,
it's got arrows on it too. The last 2 have arrows on
Yeah.
it. It's still green. I'm like, what the fuck?
I like it.
Yeah.
Me personally, it's just a quick reference. I can just look back at it. But when you see the down arrows, it don't necessarily mean it's going to be down, but it lets you know in advance.
Yeah.
I think those are the warning signals.
Yeah.
That's not the DMI. That's the warning.
The DMI's down here. Yeah.
Well, the DMI will change the candle colors, but those arrows are the warning signals. That's the other one, which I don't necessarily follow that, but I kind of watch it just as a guideline, and it kind of lets me know in advance kind of the direction that it might be going. It's not 100%, but it gives you an idea. But the candle colors changing actually helps me, and it's usually pretty accurate.
Yeah.
So that's something that you might add to yours that doesn't mess up your screen, but it just kind of gives you some visual.
Yeah, definitely. They're all great tools. Honestly, they're awesome. I just, for some reason, I was charting the other day and I had all these things up and I just wanted them all gone. I don't know why. I just wanted it all gone. And I just, for some reason, I was in training yesterday. I just felt so much more at ease without looking at, I'm looking at price action versus that. And I don't know why. It just made me comfortable.
Well, wherever you make money, that's where you need to be.
Yeah, so I think EMAs are great. I do. I honestly think they're fantastic. 200 EMA, 100 or 250 and 8 honestly are my main ones. I have the 100 on there, but I don't really pay attention. I don't know. I figure that's a waste of time, really.
I don't look at the 100. The 250 and 8. The 8 and the 50 actually work really well together.
Yeah, they do. I agree.
And I think that if I can learn more of how you do, and where I can see the candles as far as the gapping and using the previous day's close, because I've never used the previous day's close. Yeah. And I think that's pretty good. And you're showing it works.
Yeah, I don't do it. I'm getting back on my waking up on time thing. The last week I've been working way too much and way too late, and of course going to bed way too late. So that's been killing me. So when I get awake at like 9 o'clock or so, I know you guys wake up way earlier than that, but it gives me so much time to look at the charts, look at strategies, focus on a few stocks, and then that's how I made money today. BYD wasn't exactly a perfect example, but it worked. I mean, it did work. This thing just doesn't want to go down. But I think it's going to tank. Once it breaks, it's going to tank.
I think it will tonight.
Yeah, I held them.
If you go back and look at the last time that it shot up to 200, and you can see it actually went down quicker than what it did this time.
Oh,
but,
yeah,
but see how it started shooting down. It took really 3 days for that climb, where this time it only took 1 day.
Yeah, right there. Look at that. That's crazy.
So by looking at that, with how long it took to get to the, as far as the last time, how long it took to get there, then and compared to what it is now.
How about this time?
Yeah, I think
this one makes me worried.
Yeah.
Holy cow. No, I agree. I agree. Look at that.
I think it's just a matter of like a 3-4 day time frame that things are going to happen.
Yeah, look at these wicks pointing to they're wicks like crazy. Anytime there's wicks like this, that means there's sellers being like, yeah, that's way too high. That's going down.
Oh, yeah.
So that's an example, too, of just candle patterns that, just be aware of.
But did you see that trend line that I've got on the bottom of bind? It's working perfect.
Is it really? Is it in our Discord?
Yeah.
So where is it?
I think
Yeah.
it's hang on, I'll I don't know where I posted it. I know it's
Okay.
in there, but it's a daily chart. Actually, let's see, here's the daily, and if I go to the 1 hour.
Oh, is this it? Oh no, that's
No, hang on, I'll post it real quick.
Oh, I think this is it. This is what I'm looking at.
Yeah, that's it. I think that's
Oh
it.
man, look at that. That's cool. Dang.
It's perfect.
See. Oh, that's I mean, that's great. Yeah, that's something to be.
Now,
careful.
what I
need
think is
try
going to
that for
happen,
sure.
what I think is going to happen is, it's now coming back, and it's going to be, I think it was like around 175 to 180 is probably where it's going to be within 1 to 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you look back on the others, it took, about 3 days for it to actually come back to that trend line.
Yeah, I'm gonna try it on mine.
So I think that's where we're going to be.
Yeah.
And then once we get there and hit that trend line again, and we see that bounce off from it, then get calls like 2 weeks out.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, this thing's definitely not bearish at all. I mean, it's bearish, but it's got some power.
Yeah, it's just doing pullbacks. That's all it's doing.
Yeah.
And until the other company comes out that's light binds in control.
Yeah, I want to draw that. Wow, that's cool. Thanks for showing me that, man.
It is just, it's right on
there.
target.
Yeah, I'm waiting for a candle like this. Like, see ya.
Yeah.
That's what I want to see. And it did. Look at that. The lower 25%. Another thing to be aware of I mean, this thing's just overextended as crap, but anytime it's like that, I mean, that's just like, hey guys, this is their top. This is our top. But I mean, we could still tank. As you know, more giving those emails, and I think it's finally tanked. I gave up on that thing. Look at that monster.
But bond could actually take off again. But if you look back in the past ones, when it turned red, it tanked. Mm-hmm. As far as the red candles, on the 1 hour. So let me here. I'll post it in Discord. I'll put it in the main chat.
Let's take a browse. Cool, man.
Now, the only reason I have the colored lines on top is just so that I can track where the highs were before.
Yeah, no, that's a good idea, man. Definitely.
But see how my candles change colors?
Yeah, sir.
Well, look when they turned red on the last times. What happened?
Yeah, that's awesome.
So for me, it works good for me. But now I don't necessarily trade for that red candle or the green one. But it alerts me to think twice before I might do something else.
Yeah, no, definitely. Any sort of confirmation like that. That's weird how mine didn't. DMI oscillator. Oh,
let's see, because I've taken mine out to where. Let's see if I go back into studies. If I remove all my studies, let's see. Let me take out the RSI because I've got that in there too. No, it's just a DMI oscillator.
There's nothing. It's 10. It's on the 10.
Yeah, it's 10? On a 10. Paint bars, yes, at the top, and then Wilders, and then down at the bottom under the OSC, I got numerical. That's all the same. Go to HIST. That's exactly the same. And then zero line, that's exactly the same.
So weird.
I don't understand why. And we're on the, both of us on Thinkorswim. I don't know. The only thing I can figure is maybe that new study has it changed. Go back here and delete that out there.
Yeah, let me do that real quick. Hold on. Beep, beep.
And that may be overriding the other.
Oh, I bet that's what did it. Oh, no, it didn't. What the frick? That's weird. And you're on the. Oh wait, this is Walmart. Duh.
Oh, that's daily too.
Yeah, we're looking. Oh man, no wonder this isn't working. Jeez, everyone's gonna laugh when they see this video.
I'm on the 1 hour.
There you go. Yeah, that must have been what was overriding it. Let's try adding that again, just to see if that really was what it is. Not the waste of time.
No, that's fine.
I just want to see if that's really what it was. Oh, now it's working. Oh, okay. Well,
I don't know.
I don't know. There must be a ghost.
But for me, that works good for me. But if it bothers you, don't do it.
I'll try it out. I honestly just Yeah, I don't know why, but for some reason I like to know that might help. That would help anyone with a trend, but it sometimes screws me up because I don't know if it's green. I'm thinking buy no matter what. But at the same time, it does make you stop and think twice. Like if you were to short Tesla today and you got in here and you saw red and then it turned green, you'd probably stop that bad boy. I don't know. I might try it.
For me, it works. I mean, it just shows bullish and bearish.
Yeah, it just gets you the second think exactly what it's worth.
But I wouldn't dump, $150,000 down on it because it turned green.
No, definitely not. Let's see if that would have helped me out today on any of my.
I'm still waiting on my PayPal.
Oh yeah, right. Oh man, I tell you what. As soon as I get there, I'll totally send that to you. You guys are God's gift, man. Once I buy a house, you can just live in it for free. I'll just give you my guy. Oh man, that might have helped. As is not miss, so I guess it probably doesn't help. Let's see if it would on the 15. Just seeing if this would have. That's not company. I'll have to study it later, but yeah, that's definitely a good. Like you said, it's a good tool. Good tool to use. I wouldn't rely on it, but it does give you that second opinion, just like the pivot points. It's another confluence zone. So, but cool, man.
So you're on your pivot points. You're mainly just looking above or below the yellow line.
Yeah.
You're not using the S12 and R12.
I mean, I'll take note of it. If I was in okay, so what I would use these for is say I was in like if I was getting caught in a short, but I knew the direction was down, or in this case up. And I was in we'll say we bought a call once it broke above this pivot, but then it broke below it. These pivots are nice areas to take note and add. So like I would double down on this pivot and then it would have shot up. Or if I was trying to short something that was going down, I would have shorted here, put my stop above this pivot, and then double down here with my stop right here. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just it's something to be aware of in regards to just a resistance for the day. It's not guaranteed, but it's like, okay, if I'm gonna make this, like I know the direction's down, it's working against me, but I'll double down here. It's also near my zone and stops right above it. If I broke it, I'm done and I'll wait till it come up to here. So they just happen to line up with my zones every day. It's cool. So I mean, not every day, but like today it did. So
yeah, well, the support and resistance lines, that's all the zones are.
Yeah, that's literally it. That's it. So they're just something to be something I'm aware of. If we see a huge spike up or a huge spike down, or it's holding it, it's basically a just a little thing that says it's a support that day, according to the whatever mathematical equation is all it is. Just like a Fibonacci's all mathematical equation, but it just seems to work out more than that. So if we draw that there.
Off subject, have you ever kissed a shark? See that picture?
No, I didn't, man.
That's a 4-foot shark I caught in the ocean, and every person that gets on, well, I don't have a boat now, but every person that got on my boat and caught a shark, you had to kiss it.
That's gnarly.
That's 4 foot long.
Dang. Where is it? It's in the chat somewhere.
It's I can see it on mine. It shows a picture of it down there.
That's funny. That's cool. Rock and roll, man. Rock and roll. All right. Well, if you like I said, Fibonacci is another thing I use. I use Fibonacci a lot on not a lot, but a decent amount on Forex as a pullback. And when I do a pullback, so like max pullback right here would be the 382. If it was to stop there, that's just something I take a note of, and that's on a larger time frame. But do I use Fibonacci that much? Not really. I don't.
I tried using it, and I don't trade from it. Occasionally, I'll go back and put one on and just see, where it is, and I'll look for the 38% and the 61%. Yeah, but honestly, I really don't know how to trade with it.
Well, something to be aware of in regards to that would be, I don't know if this is a good example, but usually when stocks are way overextended, like this one's pretty overextended. I don't know if it'll work, but what my mentor told me is you take the last high right here, and if it crashes down to here, you retrace 50%. This one did. it got 382. I wonder if we bring it down another level, it'll work. But usually that's when the next short is, because a healthy pullback is anything above, for a continuation, is anything below 618, I think is what they say.
Yeah, if it's below 618, then this reversing.
Yeah,
But if it's and like a 15, one guy said that a 15%, that is a pretty good place to double down if it starts coming off 15. And if it hits 38 and starts coming to do it, but when it hits 618, then be kind of weary about it. But 38 or above was just like a normal pullback, actually a 50 or above. But when it went between 50 and 61, they said it's probably going to reverse.
Yeah,
now, that's what I was taught.
Here's a nice example. Like, this should come down right to 382. It confluences with this. It's above a 200. We're on the 4 hour. Technically, we're still, well, on the 1 hour, we're definitely on a downtrend, probably below. Yeah, we're right at the 200 EMA. So this is just something to be note of. Honestly, Fibonacci's a tricky one. Sometimes it works out perfectly, and sometimes it's like, I don't know. It's just another tool. Like we say, I wouldn't rely on it. People love it.
I wouldn't rely on any single tool.
Yeah, honestly, I like support and resistance better than this. So this just seems to look how great this one lines up, though. It's like the 382 happens to be right at a support. The 618 is at another support, and 350%. Literally saying the 50% saying, if we break this, we're now confirming a downtrend. So, yeah, that's good.
Good job, mate.
Cool, man. Yeah, I think that's pretty much good to go. I'll start making these videos more often about my thought trade process.
That'd be great.
Because I used to make them all the time, and it helps me too. It makes me more accountable because people know what I'm in. So it's definitely making me a better trader, and it helps other people. So cool.
I just need to get out my shorts that you told me to get in.
Oh yeah, right. Nice. So actually,
when you make these videos, post them in our live stream.
Yeah, I did that just now. It's in the live stream section. But just quick, here's an example of a pivot that did work, but I didn't make any note of because we're still in a downtrend. So this is natural gas, and look at it touch this pivot today. Freaking perfect. And it shot up. I stopped on D-gas, but I entered in back on D-gas because this was way overextended, and my stop was right here. I know so I took a small position when I got to here, but once it came back down and it broke this, I didn't care where this pivot was at all because, as you see, it did not respect it the second time down, and I'm in D-gas overnight. So if you want to swing something, you swing that. I don't know. We never know with natural gas, but
I don't buy stocks.
No,
the only thing I buy is options.
Dude, the best thing to do, honestly, and what I'm going to start doing, which I have been doing, is I'm buying stocks for investments, and I'm trading with options. So I'll buy Tesla and hold it for, I don't know, I'll hold it for a year until it goes to 350 again or 300. But I'm going to be day trading with options only, and those are purely investments. So that's something I'm going to start doing, I think. Or
so you're trading options to make more money in order to reinvest into long term.
Yes. Yeah. So it's almost like that's exactly what I'm doing.
So when you do an option, how far out do you go?
Like I said earlier, it depends on the option. Honestly, I'm super safe, and I know I shouldn't probably do it, but I'm at least, if I see it and it's 100% sure, like on BYND today, I had weeklies that expired on whatever it is, the 21st, whatever today's Friday is. So I had options that expire on the 26th for BYND today because I was sure that was going to crack once it broke that support and retested it. But I also won't hold those overnight. If I hold something overnight, and the reason I did the August 16th was the option volume. The monthlies have, like you'll see, if you check out and scan for options, you'll notice, I don't know where the heck you do it. Maybe it's in
trade.
Oh, it is trade? Where the heck is it? You can tell when I do this. But I honestly just do it for like one or two stocks, like Amazon or Facebook. And when I see this, so like these have decent volume. Where's the volume? I guess if you would do more strikes, like 6.
I do 14. That way I can see more.
Yeah. Yeah. Where does it actually have the option volume? I don't know where it is.
You might
Well, you have to go.
change the setting on top on the layout. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to change it.
Oh, nuggets. Really? Shoot. Oh, man.
See where it says company profile top right?
Top right. Oh, there we go.
Go to the right of that, those little lines.
Oh, shoot. Okay.
And then, no, that's not it.
No, right on top of the calls and puts, you see the last XNet change. You do the drop down, they have different style.
Is up there?
Yeah. You can customize your own, but they have the different set layout for you ready.
So I have mine set up to where whenever I go in,
Right there, Barry. You just go back to the left.
Oh, what is going on here, dude?
Yeah, right there. See the you saw the option chain, filter, spread, and layout. The layout is why you have different different type of layout.
Or you can go see mine's got customize at the bottom when I click on that.
Yeah, it's weird. Mine used to. I don't know why it's not right now.
Right there. Okay, go up.
It says last XNet change. Go right.
Yeah, the last XNet change there.
Oh,
yeah,
right there. And then customize.
Yeah, before and then customize one.
Oh, yeah. There we go. That'll work now. Volume and open interest.
So I've got mine set up to where I've got implied volatility, theta, delta, open interest, bid, and ask. That's the only thing that I'm really concerned about.
Yeah. So there you go. August 16th versus August 2nd. The reason I chose 16th because it's in the monthly, so that you can see the volume is going to be higher. See how there's 1,000 there. The BYD is often traded heavily. So the ones that are going to have the most volume are going to be the weekly and then the monthly, which is down here. Because it wouldn't be August 2nd. August 2nd wouldn't have as much volume. Maybe no. Maybe it does. I guess it really depends on the stock. But I know for like certain expirations for companies like maybe it's Lowe's and stuff, like you'll see certain like the ones that are less liquid have the dates. Like September 20th is one too. That's another monthly 2-month out date that's important to all of them, I guess. But yeah, I guess it doesn't matter. So I chose August 16th because it was an easy one for me to find. And I think I'm in.
Now, when you buy your options, how are you buying them?
Buying them on Robinhood, and I'm buying honestly, I'm really looking at open interest and volume. So like I think I even let's see here if I was to buy puts.
See what I take the 50% rule.
Yeah.
So if it's $100 stock and trade price, and then let's say it's going to be 103 strike price going on a call, then the buy price, the bid price has to be less than 150 or less. So if you take the 103 minus the $100, you're going to have $3, and then you don't want to pay more than $1.50 because if you pay more than that, you're paying too much.
Yeah, no.
So if you
there, it definitely makes sense. What were you saying? Do you want to give me an example really quick on BYD?
Yeah. If I open up, let's say the 26th, and if you go down, see it's trading at 195, and then if you did a call of let's see, 205 be $10, so you could go higher or lower. So 200 be 202, which would be 7. You could do a 202.50 July 26th, and that would work because you're going to be $7 and $7 even. So half of that would be $3.50. So that would be the one you want.
Interesting.
And when you buy 50% rule, then you're not overpaying. Now, I'd use as a guideline. Whenever I look for that, if my open interest is not looking great, like on that one, I would probably go ahead and go to the 200 and pay a little more because my open interest is a lot higher.
Yeah.
That tells me that that's where everybody is, and that's where your volume is going to kick in. And if you have volume, you're going to have, it's just going to trade quicker.
Yeah. No, I definitely.
So I use the 50% rule as a guideline. And then I go to the open interest and I also look at the delta. Like if I go to the 202.50, the delta is 32, but I can go to a 38 which is going to be $6 more per dollar movement.
Mhm.
So to go to the 200, now it's going to cost me 70 cents more, but it's going to be worth it with having, so I would have bought the 200. And the 200 is going to be what, $5 difference. So so you're looking 250 is what you're trying to get.
Yeah.
And if you try to get on the bid side, which you can usually get between there. So
Yeah.
whenever you put your buy order in, you want to be half, well, not half, but the difference between 380 and 350 is going to be 30 cents, 15. So your 365 is what you're going to try to get in at.
I gotta start doing that more often. I'm just using Robinhood's thing.
Well, I'll tell you what, the Robinhood Discover has burned me the last 3 times. So I'm not using it anymore.
I don't use Discover ever. I just I don't pay attention to the bid and ask. I just maybe it automatically does it for me, but I just enter in whatever is so if it's like, for example, like the BUND, the spread was actually $10 today. So I think let's see, I'll show you the one I'm looking at for when I bought. And this is exactly my thought process for it. Now I chose it. I think I bought I didn't want to spend too much. I probably should have bought one that was more expensive.
If you go in the main chat on our Discord and look for the pinned, actually it's in attachments. If you look in attachments, you'll see the my list of how I buy options. And I mean, it's not necessarily the way you need to buy, but it's just a guideline.
Yeah. I wonder what options I'm in right now. I should probably pay. Let me see. And the reason I should have used this today, but I didn't. So I'm in 145 puts, which are right here. Oh, that's not a very good one. Whoops. That was a bad choice. But at least there's a decent amount of volume, but that wasn't a very good idea. A bummer on that one. I'm just in one of those, and I'm also in one that's a little higher because I had more open interest. I'm in 155 as well.
My buying puts are 177.50.
But what's your expiration?
Friday.
Oh my God! So you're banking on it to go down no matter what. If it doesn't, yeah.
I'm good right now. So if I have to, I can sell it.
Yeah.
But tomorrow, I'll get rid of it tomorrow.
Yeah, for sure.
Regardless if it goes all the way or not, it will be gone tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah, because theta, right? Isn't that theta or delta, whatever it is?
Theta. Delta is your profit.
Okay, so theta.
The lower the theta, the worse it is.
Mm-hmm.
So you want a high theta.
Gotcha.
High theta, high delta.
Yeah, I guess you're more good at the technical options. That's something I need to study a little bit more on. And I know you have videos on it talking. So
we'll do a video just talking about how to buy the option. We'll do that.
I think a lot of people would benefit from that. I know you know your stuff on it. And honestly, the only thing I'm looking at is a couple weeks out and volume open interest. That's my main thing. That is my main go-to. Yeah, so if you look at the BYND puts for tomorrow, so what are yours again, you said? July 26th?
Yeah, which one of those would you buy?
If I was to buy the 26 ones right now, and swing, I mean, I don't know. I don't feel comfortable doing that overnight, but if I was.
Let's just say that you would, though.
Okay.
Would you be buying in the money or out of the money?
Oh, definitely out of the money. Away in the money. I wouldn't. Do you buy in the money?
No, I'm asking you.
I wouldn't. I usually never buy. I never buy in the money.
I don't either.
Yeah, I don't see the reason for that. I would spend more. Yeah, I don't know. Because the reward, I don't think it's. Maybe it is as good, but the open interest is never as high. And,
he buys in the money.
Who does?
Because the theta goes away.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he buys in the money because there's no theta.
So he'd buy the 200. That would make sense because of the volume and open interest. Look at that. Oh man, I'll have to try that. I'll have to do some.
But you're looking at $1,060 for a put.
Yeah, see, I can't. Yeah, now I'm going to stick with what I'm doing because it's working. I'm not
going to do that.
No, I usually stick to the whatever it is. So if it's right here at 195, I would usually go up to 190, and that's the one I would buy.
So you usually go third from the line?
Yeah.
Okay,
that's my go-to. If it's not crazy expensive.
Let's take this in the 50% rule.
Mm-hmm.
you're too far away because you're paying $5 and it's 195, so you're at 190. So if you would have dropped it down to the 185, that would have been your better one. Because that's $10. Well, actually, see, 187.50 would have done it.
I wouldn't have, but the open interest is half. I wouldn't have done that one. The volume is half. You got 6,000 versus 1,000. Oh, that's not even half. That's like 6. So I still would have chose either this one or this one because of the volume. Because there's not enough volume here compared to this. I can just get out of this one.
So you're looking, let's see. You would get into the 190?
Yeah. 190 or 185. Those would be my two options because I want to
So
be good.
your implied volatility is 91% on that one.
Oh,
and it's hard to do, but you want to try to get under 25%. But honestly, you can never hardly find it. But if you did the 190, your delta is going to be 37, and your theta is 84. So that's actually, well, see, 84. That's actually 6 because the way I don't like the way Thinkorswim does that. It's not like everybody else's.
I honestly like Robinhood's. Robinhood makes it pretty simple where you can choose them. I just use Thinkorswim to see which ones have the most volume, and that's like how I find my monthlies. Huh. I see what you're saying there with the implied volatility thing. Chance of profit 23.6%. Okay, so yeah, I definitely would have chose the 185 would have been a lot smarter. Well, not a lot smarter, but it would have been if I'm going to do that close, it probably would have been a wiser choice for me.
But you also have to think about, and your zones are going to do this for you as far as finding where you think it's actually going to go. I mean, if you don't think it has the snowball chance to get the 185, I wouldn't buy 185.
No, and that's another thing. And the other thing you have to be, oh man, that drives me nuts, especially for a stock like this, is, man, when it dropped down to here, it was worth like $250. By the time I sold it, I got 200 out of it. And then if it came down to here again, it probably would have been at 150 or something. You know what I mean? Because once it spikes down, you sell it. Or if it spikes down again, it just it drives me.
It has to go further to get the same money.
Yeah. Yes, sir. It just moves faster. That's usually why I buy the further out calls. Unless I'm doing the 1 minute strategy thing, just because I don't like to. Like today, I did watch the 1 minute more than I usually do, but I was also in it for a reason on BYND. So that's why I was playing the July 26th, because we broke that level right here. But that sideways, this killed me. Oh, man, I hated this. And, of course, Robinhood's not fast. So, I tried selling and I, had to redo it. And by the time I sold it, I got, 200. But, I would have had, 300 or something down here. I couldn't even remember. It's nuts.
I was looking at your zones to mine. My zone is actually bigger than what your zone is.
Oh, is it?
And you've got, let's see, our top is pretty close to each other.
Yeah, I might have done that on the hourly.
Oh, okay. I do mine on the 4 hour. I probably ought to do mine on the hourly.
I mean, if you're day trading it the 4 hour is going to carry the most weight. But maybe I did do it on the 4 hour. Why did I do that as my zone? I'm trying to figure out why the heck I even did it.
I think you did yours on hourly.
Yeah, probably.
But I mean, I don't swing anything that long. I want in and out within the same week if I can.
That's why
the 1 hour is probably what I should start doing.
Yeah, depending on how fast the stock moves. That's why I did it. It was right here. It never closed above this. So that's why I did that as my zone on the 1 hour. And then if I come over here, it still never closed above it until there. But it still didn't it closed right there as a doji. Yeah.
See, my zone I picked up on the second time it went up, which was 618. I picked up the wicks, but not all of the top one. And the reason I never is because I went to the yesterday and I picked up the candle after the rally. That's what I picked up.
Gotcha. So this box right here?
It'd be
this
no.
one. And it was on the 4 hour, right?
See yours. What are you on? 1 hour? Okay. Going to 4 hour.
Yeah, that's what I'm on. So did you pick up this one right here? That'd have been a huge zone. Holy crap.
No, I didn't get the whole thing. I got the top of the wick down to the bottom of the body.
Okay.
Is about what my zone was.
That makes sense.
And the only reason I picked that up that way is because we didn't have closure. So where your zone is actually closer to where it ought to be because you're zoning out before the drop.
Yeah.
But see, we're still in the base.
Yeah.
We haven't had the drop yet.
No. Your zone would have worked too, though. It's still funny how our both work because by your bottom zone would have got you here. So yeah, they're close, but I liked how yours actually carried. But then again, I also charted out where it closed, so I kind of had your zone in there. See how I had it? Yeah, so really, I kind of had your zone too. But it wasn't a zone to me, so.
Right, that base is actually staying in that zone, on my zone.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But it's not who's right or wrong or nothing like that, because honestly, zones are just, I mean, you ask 100 people, you're going to have 100 answers.
Yeah, just stay consistent with what makes you money, I guess, right?
Yeah, but I'm going to start using the zones as a guideline just to know where it's going.
Yeah.
But once it gets there, then I have to decide what to do. But I think that I'm going to start making my zones in 1 hour.
Try it out, yeah.
Because
it won't hold as much weight, but you also never try catching the knife, do you? I do that sometimes. And when I mean that knife, I mean like I would enter down. Yeah. I mean straight down, like what's something that tanked? It was kind of cool actually. Oh, ILMN. So here's the zone I had when it tanked.
Wow.
Yeah, look at this bad boy. I caught that. I caught it right there.
Seriously.
I seriously caught it. And I caught it because of this. I'm like, okay, so we bounced here before. It tanked, buy order at $300, and it filled. And that was pretty cool.
So you shorted it?
No, I bought it. I saw a tank, and then I said, okay, let's see here, because it tanked. This is after market hours, and I saw this huge red candle. And I'm like, okay, what's a good price where I know it's going to bounce? And if it doesn't bounce, I'm just going to.
So you picked the bottom of the zone and bought.
That's what I did. Yes, I did. Yep, I bought it right there. And once it broke here,
it's gonna bounce.
Yeah, I bought this is kind of a cool play that I was playing the other day. I got out of it because once it started going out of my favor, because I scaled out because it was doing this sideways stuff again. And I was like, man. So once it broke here, I bought puts. And look at what happened. Boom. Sold it.
ILMN. I'm looking on mine to see what it's.
Mm-hmm. Now it's looking good. Now look at this. Look at it. Now it's above my zone and it retested aftermarket. Look at that. That's cool.
I see on mine, 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 days beforehand, my candles turned red, and I had red arrows across the top for 3 days before it dropped. And the 850 rule that we have, it crossed 1 day before it actually did the big drop.
Yeah, but this is earnings. So this doesn't, or this is something, this is news. This doesn't have anything this is like, I don't know what happened there. Was that be something stupid? Like,
regardless of what it was, it caught it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was downtrending anyways. So yeah, you no matter what, even if it didn't do this, because no one knows it's gonna. No one.
You could have got that first day.
Yeah,
you could have the knife.
You could have been making money this whole time, because look, it broke this support here, and it even came up and retested it. Look, it came up and was like, "Hey, I'm just letting you know that you're going down." And even if it didn't drop to here, I can guarantee we would have been down to here and then down to here, and maybe a bounce and then down to here eventually. So yeah, now look at it. Now if you look at it, because I shorted it here and took profit too early, of course, like I always do. But man, it retested, tanked, and now it's just been on a recovery. And now look at it. It came up, and now it retested the zone right now. So that's something I'll watch tomorrow. Look at that.
You know, if you would actually use like when you get in it and start watching, say, the 20 or 30 minute, and you watch for the 8 to cross the middle Bollinger Band to start coming back up, then, if you're in a buy or in a short, when it starts crossing that middle one, it's time to get out. It works every time.
Yeah, but it also worked here this is a confirmation. I don't even need to see that because it would have crossed probably right here and it broke my zone. And as soon as it broke the zone, I'm like, yeah, I'm out. It might have got me out here. But I mean, I wouldn't have got out anyways because it didn't break here. And right here was my major level. So,
but you made money. That's all that matters.
Yeah. They're both great. They both work. And honestly, if you don't have a zone and if you're day trading and stuff like that, the 8 and the 50, I did it. It works. It worked for sure. For sure. I think it's a great tool. I really enjoy it. And I think 8 over the 50 is still the best. The middle Bollinger Band thing's cool. I like how you made the script over, but I still think the 8 over 50 like you were doing, that one's good. That one's solid.
Yeah, it's more solid. Whenever the 8 crosses the middle, there's still iffiness.
Yeah.
But when the 8 crosses the 50, it's on.
Yeah, I agree. I might even put that back on there.
You're losing, 1.5–2% potential profit, but you're not getting in too soon. Now, bind, I didn't buy bind on any indicator, nothing. I just knew that it was going to drop off. So I got in because I knew that when it started dropping, it was just going to take off and I didn't want to lose. So I got in too soon, which I don't regret.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess I do now because I got in yesterday and we're still waiting today. But
yeah.
I thought that last night, I thought it was going to tank last night. And that's why I got in. But I know I'm going to make money. I've already made money. So whenever it tanks, then, I could have made more money if I would have waited and got in today.
Yeah.
So and that's where I mess up. I tend to want to get in 1-2 days too soon. And theta hurts me when I do that.
Look at this, the 8 cross the 50, just like you said, right here. And look at that's the 15, but if you look at the 30, because that's usually your go-to, right? 30 or 20 minutes. Yeah, so it's been on a downtrend the whole time, but once it crossed here on the 30, or even if we looked at the 20, yeah, same thing. That would have got me in earlier.
The 20 you would have got in
right here.
Monday first thing.
Oh, really?
And you would still be in it right now.
Yeah. Yes, sir. That's all right. Well, it looks like we're going to retest this zone, and once we retest it, I'll probably try to get off the bounce there. That'll be what my play is. But we'll see. That's cool.
But I like the 30 or the 20. If I go to the 30 just to see, the 30 would have put me in the
end of yesterday.
Well, no, it's still been Monday, but instead of 9:30, it would have got me in at 10:30, which honestly is not much difference. And it would still have me in it. So really the 20 or 30 is going to be more confirmation. 20 is going to be less, but I think 20, you can pick up some extra money. So I'm going to trade on the 20.
Yeah. What do you think about Netflix? Are you long on that? I bought shares in it. I don't know if that was a good idea.
I haven't done anything.
I'm watching it every day. It's pissing me off more and more. It looks like short. I think it's going down to 300.
I haven't even charted it.
No. Goodness gracious. Look at this.
I pulled it up to see the big knife, and that's all I've done.
Yeah, this knife didn't work so well. I was up at one point. I was up on the bounce when I hit back up to 326, and then goodness, 307. Who knows where it's going next in the market? So,
well, I'm with you. I've got way too many options going on right now.
Me too.
And Friday, I sold my bind calls Friday because I was up like $100 and I was just trying to clear out my inventory. And if I'd have kept those, I'd have made $3,000.
I know, man. I sold those too. If you don't recall, I think I sold them after. Did I sell them after you? Before
I
you?
sold them right at the end of the day on Friday. I mean, it was within an hour or two. It was sickening. I mean, but I was up. I made money, and the reason I sold them is because it was overextended, and I was afraid that it would just drop and I'd lose that $100. But instead, I lost $3,000.
Well, you didn't lose anything.
No. I lost potential profit.
Yeah, but that's like
$3,000 would have been really nice.
Yeah, 3,000. If it went the other way, though, you have no. I mean, you had a clue, but like no one knew it was going to do that.
I think I only had like about $600 worth of calls.
Yeah, that's all I had too, and I think I sold them on the same day you did. I'm pretty positive I did. Maybe it was
But
even the day before.
I try to keep my options 1,000 or less. Sometimes I'll go a little more. I've got quite a bit on bind. I think I've got.
I got 2,000 on bind right now.
I think I've got 20. Let's see, 8 and so 23. I think $2,400 is what I've got on it in puts.
Yeah, I got 2,000. That's the most I've ever done with puts, to be honest with you. But
Most I've done is 19,000.
Holy!
I had 500 calls on Walmart and swung it over the weekend, and I sold it. It was on. I sold it June 2nd, and made $2,350. I think it was. If I would have held that until the Thursday, that's the bull run, I would have made $92,000.
Yeah, but man, that's like, who's gonna know the top? You know,
Well,
Walmart. Like, how would you have known that it was gonna top out here or even here? There's no way. There's no chart history of it.
Well, hold on a second.
Yeah,
That's where the 8 over 50 come in, because when that bull run come in, I couldn't tell that it was a bull run. The 8 over 50 tells you.
yeah. I don't know.
That's how I put it in my strategy.
I don't know if I can emotionally handle that. Maybe you're stronger than me, but I would. If I saw that much money, I would be like, I'm taking that. I'm happy with that.
Oh,
I know.
yeah, you would.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'd be like, oh, damn, I'm out of here.
Could have held to Thursday, but I know I couldn't have.
Oh, man. There's no, I don't think I physically could have held that to 92. There's no way in heck I could have held that to 92,000. I would have bought shares, and then that would have been my way out of it because I could not hold that. That's just.
If I would have held it to Friday at 3:00, I charted it out. It was 126,000.
Yeah, no way. No,
But they expired on Friday.
Yeah. Goodness gracious.
But
no way.
There's a lot of people that would have loved to have bought those calls because it was I think it was like 108.50 was the, but no, it wasn't 108.50. Maybe it was 98.50. I can't remember. It was a low dollar amount, and then that bull run hit.
Man,
but the bull run cost me money because I couldn't see it. But the 8 over 50, I started researching, and the 8 over 50 would have taught me that. It would have alerted me to say you need to get out of all these puts. I had 400 puts.
Yeah, I joined you on that put. I think I lost and that was my fault. Like, I'm not telling you it's your fault. I thought it was overextended too. I remember a while ago when we took that trade because like Walmart been uptrending. Look at how long it's been uptrend. It's ridiculous. And like as soon as it came up to this level, I think this is when I bought the puts. It hit this zone and I bought puts and I'm like, yeah, it's gonna come down. Like, yeah, it's gonna come down. Yeah. I'm like, oh man. I think I lost like $1,500 on that minimum. I think
2,000 on Walmart.
Yeah, it was stupid. It was like one of my biggest losses for sure. Because I was just stubborn. Because I did that.
The video was my biggest loss. We won't talk about
really?
it.
Yeah, it is. It's
no one knows.
It's all groovy. It's all groovy. I don't care. It's all good. You still made more than you've lost, and you know what? It's all a learning game, and I love it. I enjoy this more than anything in the world. Like this to me is like better than. This is just the funnest thing ever. And people are like, "Oh, what are you gonna?" I would never tell them what I want to do, but this is what I want to do, and the amount of money and profit potential is it's infinite. Really, it really is.
Well, I think that if we can take what you know and what I know, and we can put those together, then we're not going to do anything but become better traders. And that's the reason I wanted you to do this. I want to know every angle possible because, from what you're saying, I really need to add those pivot lines on my chart now that I understand how you're using them. I just couldn't understand it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's it's just like that's exactly. Yeah, I know I never explained it to you, but yeah, that's exactly it. Like today on Walmart, if I was to look at Walmart today, we are below the pivot, below the EMA. This was a short all day. It probably was below the pivot here too, but I didn't trade it. Now Walmart's in a zone.
So that pivot has to be below the 200.
If it's kind of like my rule. I go big picture to small picture. Like I said, even for this is the 50 in me, so I would need to 50 works, but I like to use the 200's my favorite, mainly because that tells me if it's on a good uptrend. 200 and that I like to make it blue. Reason being is because like it's underwater or over water. Like that one's yellow, and this one will be red. So I literally just tell myself a story. So this is the story I tell myself on the hour. I say, okay, we're below the pivot. We're below the EMA, which is water. We're below the water. We're underwater. So there's no reason I should be buying this. And then I would look at and I always start from a higher time frame and work my way down. I don't know if my computer will look so slow, but
see, even
on
those
15,
candles tell you that you need to be getting, either shorting or not buying.
Yeah,
because they're red.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot I still had that on there. Yeah. Yeah. So it's kind of it would. Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot that was on there.
It's
Yeah,
another confirmation, and it may mess you up on your normal trading, and if it does, you need to get rid of them. But for me, it just gives me an idea. Now, like if you go on that ILMN, this shows you that the red candle doesn't work. I'm on the 30-minute chart on the last day, and if you zoom in right before that big candle on today.
Oh, that's right. Okay, wait, you right here?
No, on today.
This is today.
Okay, zoom in on that. I can't see it.
Oh, my bad.
Like, open up just the 1 day there. There, see that red candle?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hey, look at where I bounced on a pivot.
Right.
That's hilarious. See, that's why
that red candle, you would be thinking it's going to sell off.
Yes,
but
you would.
You can't just go by that.
Heck, that's cool. That's why I love these pivots. That's crazy. I didn't have that chart out or anything. You just freaking touch that. Like, see ya. But yeah, then everything's green. Yeah, look at that. Like man, you gotta react fast to that. Holy cow, that is talk about bullish engulfing candle.
Yeah.
That'll be an interesting one to see tomorrow, see what happens. It's been one I've been following. The only thing is it's still going sideways, but we did break below. We're above it now. We're still I mean, of course we're gonna be below the 200 because we literally tanked. So but this would be something cool actually if you wanted to do this would be a cool Fibonacci retracement if you were to do that. This huge drop down to here, 50% would be around here. I'm sure that's an area of support and resistance. If you're charted out, I don't think it's been this low. And so that was fun, nice catch. So probably that's gonna be your first area right here. It almost touched it again. Yeah. So that should probably be right here, the 318. Interesting, though. Let's see here. I think I lost contact in every way. All right. See, anyone lost contact or something. Weird. Anyways, I think we had enough talked about. If you guys need anything else, let me know. If not, it's weird. I can't hear anyone. All right. All right. Well, I guess I'll just leave it.